Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Whenever we encounter hard times, maybe tragic events come into our lives, or we're just dealing with very difficult things and we walk through those dark places of life, uh, there's basically three things that help us in those types of circumstances. It helps us to have hope, it helps us to have help, and it helps us to have perspective. Hope, help, and perspective. You know, if we're going through a hard time, we need the hope that things will get better. Even if it might be very, very dark, very dismal, we might be dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. It helps to know at least that what we're going through is temporary. When we can see a light at the end of the tunnel, then we can have hope that helps us to move forward. But we also need to know that we have help. Oftentimes, when people encounter very difficult situations, they begin to despair because they feel like they don't have any help. They feel like they're perhaps on their own. They feel helpless. They don't feel like they can help themselves, and they don't feel like anyone else can help them. And they can really begin to spiral downward into depression, despondency, and all these different things because they don't feel like there's any help. But then also what we need is perspective, to be able to look at things from the right angle. And when we have the right perspective, when we're going through hard times, it can help us to make it through. And so these are the three things that we need in difficult times. We need hope, we need help, and we need perspective. And the Christian faith provides for us all three of those things. And we see these laid out for us in Romans chapter 8, verses 18 through the end of the chapter, where first the Apostle Paul talks about the hope that we have. And he says in verse 18, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed to us." And he goes on to talk about that in some detail. But he says the sufferings that we're going through can't even compare to the glory that's coming. In other words, better days are coming. Whether we see better days in this life or not, one day in the future, beyond this life, there is a glory that is so wonderful and so resplendent and so great that it will outshine all the sufferings that we encounter. It's an eternal weight of glory is what he calls it in 1 Corinthians, or in 2 Corinthians, excuse me. And it's a weight of glory that is far beyond the light momentary affliction that we encounter here on this earth. And so we do have the hope of better days. One day we will be living in a state in which there is no suffering, no crying, no death, no sickness, but we will be living eternally with Jesus Christ and reigning with him forever. And that's going to be a glorious day. And that's what hope we have as believers. And it's that hope that can help us pull through those difficult times. But also we have help. And this has to do with the present state. The hope has to do with the future. Help has to do with the present. And this present help that we have is the Holy Spirit himself. In verse 26, it says, "And in the same way, the Spirit also helps us, or helps our weakness. For we do not know how to pray as we should, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And he who searches the hearts knows what the mind of the Spirit is, because he intercedes for the saints according to the will of God." And so all the time that we're suffering, we know that the Holy Spirit is there groaning with us. Now, much like Jesus did at the tomb of Lazarus, where he saw the people around him weeping, and he himself began to weep, and he was really moved in his spirit at that particular point. Even though he knew that he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, he still, in a sense, groaned with the people. And we have the Holy Spirit groaning with us as we encounter these various sufferings. And the Holy Spirit, in those groanings, intercedes for us to the Father, even when we don't even know what to say. And so we have the Holy Spirit with us presently in the sufferings, and that can help us. We know that when we can't help ourselves, and when we know that other people can't help us, we know that the Holy Spirit can help us, and he can especially help us as he intercedes for us to the Father and brings our case before him. And then we also have perspective. In verse 28, he says, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. In other words, we can look at the situation and say, I may not understand what's going on. I may not understand why God is allowing this in my life. But by faith, we know for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. It doesn't mean that everything that we suffer through is good in and of itself, but that these things work together for good. That God is putting together this beautiful tapestry that, yes, in some cases are made of these bright and beautiful things, but also the dark areas of our lives are being woven together to work out something good, to work out his good plan, his good purpose that is better than just immediate gratification or immediate relief, but has a long-term good that God is working out in the situation. And that gives us perspective to say, what is God working through this? I may not know, but I can be confident that God is working out something good. And we can go in the confidence that we have a loving Father who cares for us, who, yes, sometimes allows us to suffer, but when he does so, it's for a better good. Kind of like a child who trusts the parents when they're going to the dentist. And the dentist is may not be a pleasant situation, but the child trusts that if the parent is taking me to the dentist, it must be for my good, even though I don't understand why it's for my good. I just trust in the goodness of my parents and the fact that they have my best interests at heart. And that gives us perspective in the various sufferings of this life when we don't understand why God allows us to go through what we go through. But we trust in his wisdom, we trust in his understanding that goes beyond our understanding, and we know that somehow, in some way, this is working out something good, either for ourselves or for mankind in general. And so the Christian faith really gives us the tools that we need to encounter difficult situations in life. It provides us with hope, it provides us with a present help, and it provides us with a proper perspective. And when we have these things, we are better suited for and better equipped for the trials that we encounter in this life. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do a reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.